We then set about a review process that I'm very proud that Musi initiated, because it shows that he was prepared to hold a mirror up to himself and to the party. And I have great respect for the people who served on that review panel. And I want to share with you that the presentation that I made to that review panel was one of the most difficult and traumatic I'd had in my life. In fact, I likened it to going for marriage guidance counseling when your relationship is breaking down. It's a very tough time. But it is important that one does that. And we have done that. And I want to thank that panel for the way they handled the presentation of that review report on Saturday at our Federal Council. Everybody expected that the DA would tear itself apart. They didn't tear it. We didn't tear ourselves apart. In fact, we walked out of there united, and we accepted that we had to do things better and differently. We made mistakes. We confused our voters. We prevaricated on important issues, and there was too much equivocation. So that report came up with some findings about the leadership of this party. Two of our colleagues have gone already, Paul Bowie, the CEO, and James Self. And I also want to pay tribute to James Self. He was the epitome of selfless loyalty to this party. The review panel had some very specific recommendations about Musi, and I think they were unfair, and they were an overreach of their responsibility. But be that as it may, my name was not mentioned in the leadership deficit in the party. But when I say we take collective responsibility, I must take responsibility, having been the chairman of this party for 4 years, that the less than spectacular election result must be part of my responsibility. So I accept that where the buck stops at the leadership door, I was in one of those doors. And as the chairman of this party, I think it's fitting that I also take responsibility. We had a long discussion today in our federal executive, and I want to thank the members and my colleagues of federal executive for the manner in which that discussion took place. I know it frustrated you and you waited a long time. But anything that's worthwhile is worth waiting for. And I fully believe that the Democratic Alliance is worthwhile, and that's why I've given so much to this party. But I also famously or infamously recently said that there's a time to come and a time to go in politics. And I realized that this weekend that it was probably my time to go. And I'm happy to accept that. I'm happy to move on and try and build or rebuild my life. Not easy for somebody with my complexion at my age and my hairstyle. But I'm prepared to do that. What I'm also not going to do is I'm not going to slag off my political party. I joined this party voluntarily years ago. I've served it selflessly because I believe in it. And I know that new leadership will emerge in the Democratic Alliance and that leadership will take us forward. And I believe that they must take us forward. Why? Because the ANC has neglected South Africans. The excesses of the ANC confound us on a daily basis. If you don't know what I'm talking about, consider the interview with Baleka Mbete on Al Jazeera, and you will see a party that is in complete denial.